World Wide Web. It's an ever-evolving universe of lightning-fast communication. For students, it's a powerful tool for research and for socializing. But the internet can also be used as a weapon.
You're such a loser.
You're worth.
You should just
Everybody
kill yourself.
hates
You're such a
You're
slut.
gay.
Words have become bullets, and they're wounding teens all over the country and around the world. In Pennsylvania, a teen is so horribly harassed online he moves to Colorado to escape the abuse.
That really tore me apart, having to leave my hometown for reasons I wasn't really sure of at the time, for something I didn't feel like I deserved.
In Virginia, a popular 17-year-old girl is forced to go to another school after being bullied during her re-election as class president.
It just killed me because I had never heard of anyone not liking me. So to hear these hurtful things at such, an intensity was just blew my mind.
In Vermont, a 13-year-old boy is pushed so far by cyberbullies that he takes his own life.
You can't know the terror. You can't know. And all I kept saying to Brian was, why? 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 I didn't understand why.
And several continents away, an Australian teen decides to fight back and take action after being severely harassed online.
You got to understand the internet is a lawless country. There's no police, no government, and it's controlled by the users, which a lot of the time are kids.
These teens are not alone. An estimated 1 in 3 students is being victimized online. That's why policymakers are committed to making a difference.
This abuse is no different than physical abuse in the real world. If this is psychological abuse, we need to know about it so that we can react to it.
At issue, cyberbullying. Today on Student Voices. Hi, I'm Brian Harper. Welcome to Comcast Student Voices. Today we're exploring a very serious issue that's impacting the lives of millions of teens across the country and around the world. In the next half hour, you'll hear the personal stories of 4 teenage victims. Plus, we'll share some important tips to help keep you from being bullied. But first, let's take a closer look at the issue. Cyberbullying. Using the internet or a cell phone to threaten, spread rumors, or post doctored photographs. Stephanie was bullied by students she knew at her school. But many teens are harassed when someone they don't know steals their password and sends damaging messages from their email, personal website, or social networking page. That's what happened to our next teen victim. But in his case, the abuse quickly escalated from silly to serious to life-threatening.
It all started when I was just in a chat room on a site for people 18 plus, like a singles chat room. And I started chatting with somebody who I thought was my own age in my area at the time. And we exchanged MySpaces, and theirs didn't turn out to be real.
Zach's nightmare began just after he gave out his MySpace web address. The 18-year-old from Philadelphia was no different from other teens using the internet. Cyber socializing was an opportunity to broaden his group of friends and a way to promote his band. And like most teens posting their personal profiles on MySpace, Facebook, and other social networking sites, Zach didn't know he was making himself vulnerable to everyone with access to the web.
I immediately noticed just hundreds of messages in my account, all these comments on my page that were bashing me, that were just people I'd never met before.
Not only did hackers send hate mail to Zach, they sent it to his friends, making it look like the emails came from Zach.
A lot of the letters that were being sent from my account to my friends list were either hate messages or very critical things. They'd be like, you're fat or you're ugly or whatever, stuff like that, or I don't like you anymore. Or they would be like, I want to have gay sex with you and stuff like that, and things that I would never say so.
Even after trying to explain what happened, many of Zach's friends didn't believe him.
It was immediate alienation of almost everybody I knew, and it was very socially destructive. I was completely devastated. At that time is when I need friendship the most, and just for my friends to say the things they did, to take it the way they did, really had an adverse effect on me.
And if that wasn't enough to deal with, hackers plastered illegal and extremely offensive images all over Zach's website.
There was just pictures of homosexual porn all over my page, and it was subsequently shut down because it's against rules and regulations.
MySpace officials confirmed that strict policies are in place to prevent any offensive images from being posted on their site.
You don't know who you're talking to.
Pennsylvania Attorney General Tom Corbett says even though policies are in place, a lot more needs to be done by all web providers to protect their users, especially teens.
These are businesses. They are making money on this site, but they are also providing a very dangerous situation. And if they don't react to it and react to it very quickly, they are endangering the teenagers, the children of Pennsylvania, of the United States, and of the world.
For Zach, the danger escalated when he was targeted for a raid, a form of anonymous online harassment organized on message boards.
They get all the passwords, try to get all that person's personal info, then they spam it on their website to hundreds of thousands of people, anonymous people, with instructions to prank call, to order free things off the internet to my address, to constantly harass me and my family.
These sites are not secure. I don't care what any of the social networking sites say. These hackers know how to get in there and they can alter it. The internet service provider and the social networking site has to be prepared to cooperate with law enforcement, to cooperate with the victim of this raid, so you can make a determination as to who the person is organizing that raid.
Ultimately, the harassment moved from the web to Zach's home. To this day, Zach has no idea how they tracked down his phone numbers and address.
As soon as I started getting phone calls to my house, the first night I got at least 100. So I immediately called the police, and they said the system that they were using to make the prank calls made them non-traceable. They said there's nothing they could do about it.
The relentless harassment was more than he could handle.
I felt alone. I was completely devastated. Then my emotional state really progressed to just being alienated, alone, depressed.
To better cope with the bullying, Zach turned to drugs and alcohol, which only increased his anxiety and depression.
I was in a downward spiral. I was just thinking, becoming a hero, committing suicide, because it just really seemed like the only sure way out at the time. But then I just figured I'd pursue any alternative to that first, which thank God I did.
Fearing for his life and the safety of his family, Zach felt that the only way to escape the abuse was to move out of state, a tough price to pay for a practical joke.
That really tore me apart, having to leave my hometown for reasons I wasn't really sure of at the time, for something I didn't feel like I deserved.
Now that he's relocated, Zach is doing what he can to make the most of his new life.
I'm just trying to kind of pick up the pieces and trying to get music going again out here. It's a different scene and everything, but I'm trying.
I guess the most compelling part of this story is that it tells you that